All right, so we'll just hop right into it, guys. It's going to be, again, kind of a loose 15 minutes where I want to show you a couple things, and then we'll open it up for a 15-minute Q&A. We'll start off with a quick intro. Again, we don't want to drag those things out. I hate long-winded intros, so we'll try to avoid that at all costs. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to touch the posts that I mentioned last week and just check in on where they are and what has worked, what hasn't worked. And then I'm going to touch on a strategy that I think can be really useful when applied to business brokerage and LinkedIn specifically, because I still see a lot of people out there focused on posting and not engagement. And when we're talking about a larger social selling program, we want to keep that end goal in focus. And a lot of that has to do with visibility, with the targeted network of sellers and referral prospects. And posting isn't the only tool that you use for that. So we'll touch on that. Then I'll just check in on the Slack channel, where we are with that, how that's been going, and hop right into the Q&A. So again, social selling for the intro for people who are hopping in here who have not done the lunch and learn. Again, to date, we have not advertised this at all. We have this as a footer in our newsletter, which goes out once a week, but it's nice to see new faces every week. So we will be opening this up in the very near future for a larger audience. Social selling, in a nutshell, is just leveraging everything that is available online with targeting and scalability to build a very targeted network of your primary referral prospects. We have mostly business brokers on this call, so primary prospects would be business owners, and then referral prospects as well, right? Your referral pipeline, which can add value on day one, but over time really becomes more important than your outreach for your primary prospects, that being business owners. So the financial advisors, the accountants, the lawyers, making sure that you're leveraging that type of valuable relationship at scale and using the power of social networking to do exactly that. So the end goal of all of this, whatever we're going through today, because these strategies will change week over week over week, but the end goal never changes. The end goal is to get this sit down, is to get the phone calls, to get the real world relationship, right? So that might be somebody who's looking for a business valuation. It might be a financial advisor who just wants to have a chat. And then from there, maybe you start doing the Zoom meeting together, some cross marketing, and a great relationship develops. It all starts with this, but the end goal is to get that real world relationship. The 5 stages of social selling do not operate independently. They're all operating simultaneously, and they work together. So you want to optimize your profile, bullet your profile to make sure that if you get your primary prospect to come and look at your profile and engage with your profile, they're most likely to reach out. They're most likely to convert. You need to nail your targeting. So leveraging everything that the internet provides in terms of data, and the tech stack, which is changing quarter over quarter in terms of what's useful, to leverage targeting so that if you really nail your targeting, it reduces wasted time. Once you start scaling up your outreach, if you've nailed your targeting, that will make a really, really big difference in the long run. Building your campaigns, your outreach campaigns to your prospects and referral prospects, nurturing those prospects over time so they become more aware of who you are, what you do. They're familiarizing themselves with not only your brand, but your value proposition, how it relates directly to them, so that when they're in a position to begin the discussion, in the case of a business broker for evaluation or potentially selling their business, or what an exit plan might look like in this type of environment, especially today, you're first in line, you get that call. Tips for marketing in today's world: to stick with awareness. Don't try to be too salesy, especially on a platform like LinkedIn. It's not designed to be salesy. You're getting a lot of messages in the inbox going straight to a cold sell. Do not do that. It doesn't work. It's much more effective to get your prospects into your network. Make sure that they're the right prospects, right? You got to think of LinkedIn as a very targeted billboard where you are laser targeting the primary prospects and referral prospects that matter. And then you're just going for awareness, right? You're not going for a sale. You want to make them aware of what you do so that if your offering is at all on their mind right now, that they're going to reach out to you. But it's better to be salesy and to close, to go for the hard close in other channels outside of LinkedIn, which is what we're talking about today. So today we're going to be hanging out in these three middle sections of the pipeline: targeting, building, and nurturing. Tips for traction that I covered last week. Let's just stick with number one: be genuine, be helpful, push value as you're building your network. We went through some tips and tricks for posting and getting virality with posts, getting traction, getting eyeballs. That's the name of the game when it applies to a targeted network. Again, views and likes and shares, these aren't fluff metrics if you're building a highly targeted network. If the majority of your eyeballs are business owners in your area who have owned their companies for 30 plus years, well, that's free advertising if you're doing it right. So you want to focus on the value of the organic reach that a platform like LinkedIn specifically provides today, because that's not going to be there for forever. Right now, it's definitely the best game in town when you're talking about B2B targeting and organic reach, free reach. So what I'd like to briefly do is, very briefly, because we're at 1:08, and I just wonder things I want to cover during this call. But let's look at Don Emmett's post specifically. Don, apologies for calling you out 2 weeks in a row. But Don had done a post that I liked last week, and I've seen him popping up a lot this week because he's continued with that velocity. And I don't have access to Don's metrics when you look at his post activity. If you're looking at your own LinkedIn account and you look at your posts, you can see how many eyeballs you have, how many views you have on each post. Don really went from 0 to not 100, but he's speeding up very quickly with his engagement. He's been employing some of the tactics that we used or that we highlighted last week. So go back to that video, review the video, and implement those tactics, because Don's doing it and it works. And this is the post from last week where, Don, if you're in the group here and you can actually see your view count, would love to know. But 15 engagements, 11 comments, clearly a discussion that went back and forth and pushed this post to the top of Don's feed, who is pursuing a targeted social selling program. So Don's network ideally is full of owners and financial advisors and accountants. And when he pushes a comment like this that establishes him as a qualified authority in the area of business acquisition and sale, talking about a seller who turned into a buyer, shows intimate knowledge of the space in this type of changing environment, that's going to get traction. That's going to get virality. And he's kept posting. So as the algorithm has deemed Don to be relevant, his posts are going to be getting more eyeballs, more exposure than any of his previous posts, simply because he nailed this one with the strategies that we used last week. So that's great. Love to see that kind of progress. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to use me as an example of what not to do. Last week, I had a great post that really peaked out at about 6,000 views. It's still hanging out there in LinkedIn land because the post decay is so much better on LinkedIn than it is on other platforms. For example, if you post something on Instagram or Facebook, that might be gone tomorrow. LinkedIn, your content hangs out there. And if it's getting targeted eyeballs, that's very, very valuable over time. Me, I got caught up with life. I got caught up with losing a babysitter and splitting time with my wife to take care of our 15-month-old boy. And I got tired, or I got caught up with other initiatives. per our agency. Actually, we're implementing some things to improve the tech stack there. So I have not been posting, and this post really put me on the map. I actually got some great meetings out of this with with buyers, with influencers in the buyer world from this one post. And then I kind of dropped off. So if I go to my profile and look at how that impacted my visibility, I'm gonna go to my profile, and this is how you check your own visibility, guys. You can see that last week I was here, I think one day, 200 views, and I've dropped off 56% over the past week because I simply just haven't continued with engagement. And that's not just posting. That is what we're going to talk about. Engagement, commenting, liking. Now it's 112 now. I'm going to take the liberty of pushing this to 120 because I think I can go through this strategy that I want to cover in 8 minutes. And if you need more info, just go to our site because we'll have more videos going live this coming week, going more in depth on all of these tactics. But if you're not familiar with Gary Vee, check him out. He runs an agency. He's a social media celeb, and he's really great at pushing the model of social marketing, social selling, and more well known for Instagram, but he's made a big push to engage with LinkedIn. And he's certainly one of the lead influencers on that platform today. He's very famous for this strategy called the $1.80 Instagram strategy, which basically means, when he was building a business, when he was building his brand, he would go through Instagram and drop his quote unquote 2 cents, about 9 top posts over 10 hashtags 90 times a day. So he would sit there on Instagram, really strategically picking out the content that would be valuable for boosting his own brand and generating awareness and a following through this strategy. So not posting, but really just engaging. And so how do we apply this type of strategy to the world of business brokerage? First of all, you're a business broker, so you don't have time to sit and post 90 times a day, right? I've never seen anybody actually do this over the long run and sustain that kind of disciplined effort. So let's drop that down to maybe dropping your 2 cents 10 times a day if you can do that. And the easy way to do this is to do it in high value groups, do it in high value hashtags, and do this for high value influencers in your network and out of your network. And with those influencers, maybe we can talk about this more next week, but you always want to add valuable influencers into a sales navigator list if you have that, so that you can stay on top of their activity and engage with them as they continue to engage with the platform. So let's just go into a demo. I'm going to show you how to let's stick with the $1.80, even though we don't have that kind of value because we don't have that kind of time and we can't post 90 times a day. I'm going to show you how to post in high value groups and post in high value hashtags. And I'm going to reiterate why this is actually important for a business broker when it comes to landing a transaction, right? So if I'm building a targeted network, let's pretend I'm a business broker, right? I run BizNexus, it's a platform. I'm actually more interested in buyers than I am anything. But let's pretend I'm one of you here. I'm a business broker, and I want to post in a hashtag, right? What's a hashtag? It's just a categorized topic. So if I want to search, let's say, exit planning, you put in hashtag and then put in a term that you think is going to capture a lot of your target audience: sellers, right? Financial advisors, accountants, maybe M&A attorneys. You search that hashtag and you're going to see, there's Don, right? So he's clearly been using this strategy. You're going to see the content that's linked to that topic, right? And so here, that's an ad. Bill, here I can like this and I can comment, great advice. There's Don again. here's a post about exit planning. You're going to see financial advisors. You're going to see business brokers. You're going to see people who you might consider to be competition, but you have to assume that their following is also relevant to your end prospect, right? Or is your end prospect. So when I like Ed's content here, and if I put in a comment, that's going to show to his entire Rolodex, his online Rolodex. So that's very powerful if you're following a targeted hashtag like exit planning or business valuation, sell my business, buy a business, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd recommend exploring that, save hashtags, follow hashtags, get in there every day, scroll through, see where you can add a valuable comment, because your valuable comment will get pushed not only to the top of your network, but to the network of the person who's posting and has a relevant network to you. The targeted groups, if I go into BizNexus, again, we're updating these on a regular basis for business brokers. You just go to this homepage, join and engage with business broker friendly online groups. We have those on LinkedIn and on other platforms that we're constantly updating on. But if you go into something like the CPA bookkeeping online, right? This is a group full of accountants, right? So if you're scrolling through and engaging with accountants' content and they see you as a qualified authority in the area of business acquisition and sale, you're developing, you're nurturing your referral pipeline. So make sure you're hopping in these groups, make sure you're following those hashtags, you're going through, you're commenting and you're liking, because that can actually be a better strategy for a business broker over the long run. If you're worried about posting every day to a very high value network, well, this is a great way to get your brand out there and not be so in your face. Just adding value, defining your value proposition. So that is the gist of what I wanted to go through today. Slack channel, if you're not in that, ping me directly. We can invite you. We started actually doing closed groups within the Slack channel. So if you're with a franchise like Transworld or Murphy or Link, and you want access to your own closed channel, just ping me directly and we'll give you that access. And again, stay tuned for the new content that's going live this coming week on BN.Digital. We're going to be giving access to everybody for our strategy, for our tips. Our current clients, you get in there for free. So don't worry about that. And let me go to any questions if we have any. Let's just fire away and use the next 10 minutes for those. Otherwise, I'll just close it down. All right, guys. So it doesn't look like we have any questions coming through. So again, we're kind of firing through this every week. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Hopefully this was valuable. At the end of every session, we send out questions. We send out questions about the, Stuart, if you have a question, if you wouldn't mind just pinging that in the Q&A. It's okay, Stuart, I'll follow up with you directly after. But generally speaking, we want to fire these questions in the Q&A in your footer, and we can get to them. So Stuart's asking if it's better to focus on the groups or the hashtags. You want to do both. The groups are more effective, but if you're running through a group and you seem to be one of the few people really engaging with the group, don't overdo it. You can move to the hashtags from there. Hashtags will constantly include new content. LinkedIn, they're working on their group engagement. It's not as great as Facebook and some other platforms. It will get better. It's LinkedIn, but just keep an eye on, if you're the loudest person in the group on a consistent basis, it's a judgment call, but there's a difference between getting your brand out there and turning away high value prospects. Mike Wilson's asking, which are the high value hashtags? Search hashtags relevant to you, right? So we'll put some hashtags up on BizNexus for all of you guys. We'll add that onto our group page. But if you've paid a dime to anybody who's doing SEO keywords for you, you can guess what the hashtags are that are going to be valuable for you, right? So if it's selling a business, maybe hashtag sell a business, hashtag exit planning. If you're thinking about boosting up your referral network, maybe you're thinking about what would be relevant for a financial advisor. So hashtag wealth planning, hashtag estate planning, right? And you get in there and you comment and you put your brand out there in those pools and those hashtags in those groups. Wow, a lot of questions coming through now. So after you post, do you lose the ability to add the hashtag? No, you can always. So Hal, that's a great question, actually. So again, with the Content Hub on BizNexus, when you're sharing directly to a platform, I'm not going to share now, but you can see it's pulling all the metadata. I'm going to share this in a post and put in my post. And like I've shown you before, we want to hide all the hashtags and ats down below. And when you hashtag something like exit planning, you can see that pops up and you add it. Now, after you've added a post, you can always go back to your post through your profile. Again, we suggest the hashtags that are relevant to exit planning. So this is another way of how we can show you which ones are valuable, right? These are ones that are going to be relevant to your other hashtags. So just load those up when you're doing it through BizNexus. After you've posted, you can always go back to LinkedIn, click on the 3 dots at the top of your post. So, you should have in your own post, you'll have these 3 dots, click on those and you can edit, and then you can go back into your post and add hashtags. So that's a good way of doing it. Hal, great question. Bob Ferris, won't you become noise if you do this too much? Yes, right? So LinkedIn has become a lot more noisy just over the past couple months. So you can get away with a lot more now. You have to do more now than you did just a few months ago. So again, this is kind of a judgment call, and it comes down to your own sales and marketing personality. But if you're building up a really highly valuable network of business owners, right, of referral prospects, be mindful of that, right? Don't just go out there and push yourself to the top of your feed with garbage. Focus on value. And are hashtags geographical, or can they be? Not typically. I mean, if you wanted to put in sell a business Boston as a hashtag, sure, you could. You can niche down. You're probably not going to get a lot of activity on that. But if you get that one great Boston seller who's somehow looking to get categorized and that, it doesn't hurt. Don't waste your time. But LinkedIn is always, as I mentioned on my last call, I went into this, LinkedIn is always looking to categorize you. Who are you? Where are you? What's your offering? Who are the connections? Who should be suggested to you? So the more you can help categorize yourself to LinkedIn, to the algorithm, the better off you're going to be ultimately. So, wow. Okay. More questions coming in, but you can always ping me, adam@biznexus.com. We'll be back next week. You do have an option in the survey that follows this, right? You'll get a 3-question survey right after the Lunch and Learn. One is just a star rating. And then I think the other 2 questions, I don't even know what they are anymore. It's really just suggestions for improvement, right? What did we do wrong? What would you like to see? Help us make this more valuable. We had a lot of feedback along the lines of stay with the demos, just do it on the fly, do what I've done today, and hop into LinkedIn and show actionable tactics. That's great feedback, because we're going to pivot and we're going to focus on that. That's what we do every day. It's how we build BizNexus. It's how we build out our offerings for brokers. We're listening to you guys. So let us know what's valuable. Let us know what you don't like, and we'll try to pivot accordingly. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks, and see you all next week.